You probably know someone, or have even experienced yourself, a situation where one person in a relationship tries to have full control over the other. It's not always dramatic shouting or obvious restrictions. Often, control takes subtle forms, deciding what your partner does, who they see, what choices they make, or even how they feel. But why do some people have such a strong need for control? First, fear of abandonment. People who control their partner often do it because they're afraid of being left alone. This fear is not always conscious, but it drives their every move. Control becomes a protective mechanism, a way to keep someone close. Every moment of the other person's independence can trigger panic, a sense of loss, and sometimes anger. This fear is what causes the controlling partner to try to predict movements, influence choices, and limit their partner's space, believing that this is how they protect themselves from being abandoned. The next reason is jealousy. Jealousy in controlling partners isn't just a passing emotion. It's a constant, underlying state that makes every interaction their partner has with anyone else a potential threat. Even the smallest contact with friends, family, or colleagues can trigger anxiety, suspicion, and impulses to control the situation. Another reason is low self-esteem. A person who controls their partner often doesn't do it because they feel strong. Quite the opposite. Inside they feel weak, inadequate, and inferior. Low self-esteem makes them doubt that anyone could love them just because. They always assume they need to prove something, watch, check, or monitor. Otherwise, they might be replaced by someone better. Low self-esteem makes ordinary behaviors of their partner feel like threats. This leads to attempts to limit the partner, not to hurt them, but to quiet their own sense of insufficiency. The next reason is trauma from past relationships. People who control often aren't born with this need. They learn it from past experiences. Betrayal, rejection, abandonment, or toxic relationships leave a mark that deeply enters the psyche. Trauma acts like an invisible guide, urging vigilance, control, and oversight, predicting every move of their partner. Past betrayals fuel the inner voice. I can't trust. I have to watch. Even if the current partner never gives cause for concern, the trauma overlays past experiences onto the present, creating hypervigilance and a need for control. Another reason is the need for constant certainty and creating the illusion of safety. Controlling people often live in constant tension born from uncertainty. They don't believe that the world and relationships are predictable, or that their partner will stay with them no matter the circumstances. So they try to create an illusion of security, controlling every movement, every decision, every aspect of their partner's life. This control gives them a temporary sense of calm, as if limiting the other person's freedom ensures that nothing bad will happen. Often, controlling behaviors are learned from home and childhood. If someone grew up in an environment where domination, excessive control, or lack of boundaries were the norm, they learn that this is how relationships work. What might seem toxic to others becomes a pattern they do not question. They simply repeat familiar behaviors. In adult life, these habits show up in relationships. Hypervigilance, attempts to predict every move of the partner, interfering with decisions, and limiting independence. For the controlling person, this is not always a conscious choice, but an automatic mechanism learned over years. Controlling partners often simply cannot trust. They don't believe that the other person will do what they say, or that they won't fail to meet expectations. Every minor misstep, every independent decision by the partner can appear to them as a risk of betrayal, rejection, or failure. This inability to trust makes them try to control every aspect of their partner's life. It's not always about a desire to dominate, but about fear. If they don't maintain control, everything could slip beyond their influence. Some people control their partner not only out of fear or insecurity, but because they feel a need for power. Control gives them a sense of strength and significance. Every restricted movement, every decision made under their influence confirms that they have an impact, that they are in charge of the situation. This need for dominance often comes from a lack of control in other areas of life. If they can't have power over the outside world, they try to get it in the relationship. Unfortunately, in this mechanism, the relationship stops being a partnership and becomes a game of control, where one partner holds the advantage and the other is subordinated.